This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever find yourself playing the budgeting game? Shifting a little money here, a little there, and hoping it all works out? Well, with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive, you can be a better budgeter and potentially lower your insurance bill too. You tell Progressive what you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll help you find options within your budget. Try it today at progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states.
Hi, I'm Jeffrey Craner, and my friend Cecil Baldwin loves horror movies, and he's helping make this genre more approachable for me and hopefully for you too. One film at a time in a random order. Are you squeamish about horror movies? Do not worry, we will tell you what happens. Adore horror movies? Great! Watch along with us each week. Oh, hey, speaking of this week, we have 2 extra episodes coming at you again. First is our Friday the 13th episode. It's coming, you guessed it, this Friday the 13th. As is usual for these extra episodes, we're covering horror shorts suggested by our Patreon followers. Check the show notes of this episode for a playlist of those films. Also, we have another live stream this Saturday, March 14th at 3 p.m. Eastern. This month, we're talking about the super independent 2025 film Mother of Flies from the creators of Hellbender. Our $5 Patreon members get to be part of our monthly live streams, and they get to help us pick the movies we watch each month. We, of course, do a random draw of all nominated films, and they get an ad-free feed of all Random Horror 9 episodes. So join us this Saturday, March 14th at 3 p.m. New York time as we discuss Mother of Flies from 2025. That's at patreon.com/randomhorror9. But that is later. Let us talk about today's episode. As always, check the show notes for content warnings about this week's episode discussion and film. This week, we randomly rolled a 1 for technology and a 1 for folk horror. Here is episode 313.
Adopt number generator. Podcast number 9.
This week on Random Number Generator, horror podcast number 9, The Lords of Salem, 2012. Warning! Spoilers ahead.
When I was a kid, my favorite radio host was Norm Hitzges at KLIF 570 AM in Dallas-Fort Worth. KLIF was a news talk station, which I didn't care about, but Norm did their sports show. He was a human encyclopedia long before information was just a push of a button away. The joke was this guy probably had Ice Capade stats. I dreamed of a world where you could have a whole radio station that was only sports talk. New York City was the first market to do such a thing. They had WFAN 660 AM, but the second ever all-sports station in America was 1310 AM The Ticket in Dallas, which began in January of 1994 when I was 18 years old, and I have listened to that station almost every day since. Like, most of that time has been through streaming, of course, but I haven't lived in Dallas in over 20 years. I still listen. I still love it. What I thought, though, that I loved about Norm's show and later The Ticket was that they talked sports, but I've listened to a lot of sports talk radio over the years, whether it's The Fan here in New York City or just syndicated national shows like Colin Cowherd or Jim Rome, and nowadays every imaginable sports podcast. But what I really loved wasn't the sports, it's the personalities. These days we call it a parasocial relationship, and sure, let's go with that. I love the information and insight about sports that I got, but beyond that, with Norm's show and with The Ticket, I got a break from the usual radio program, which was either political bluster, dry reads of news stories, or wacky morning zoo DJ types who played fart drops and picked low-hanging fruit. The Don Imus model, I guess. I thought about Norm Hitzges while watching the radio station scenes in Rob Zombie's The Lords of Salem. Like this tiny trio of zany radio people trying to channel Howard Stern, but in reality just becoming Weenie and the Butt from Family Guy. Long before podcasts, Norm Hitzges knew how to balance well-researched and thoughtful commentary with a sincere conversational approach. And I know show business cannot, by its very nature, be real life, but it's at its best when it creates that simulacrum. Hi, Cecil.
Hi, Jeffrey.
What's the most cursed song you've ever heard?
Uh-oh.
I mean, the one in this movie is pretty rock solid.
It's good. It's good. The Venga bus is coming. And then you get the weird old man, young man Six Flags advertisement.
Yeah. Yep.
I think that's probably going to be up there.
That's pretty strong. Like almost anything that has an annoying earworm quality, like
yes,
is pretty rough. I would say for me, because I somehow didn't hear this song for the first time until maybe like 5 years ago, is that song by Crash Test Dummies from like 1993.
How did you not hear that song,
know.
Jeffrey?
Somebody was playing it for me.
Were you in a coma?
I don't know. Somebody was playing it for me, and everyone was kind of like, were we on tour? I don't know, but somebody was playing it, and I was like, what the shit is this song? And whoever I was with was like, it's Crash Test Dummies. I'm like, I don't know. Like, how did you miss this?
Yeah, that song was that song was very everywhere at a time when the monoculture was still very alive. And yeah, it is probably pretty cursed.
The other one I will throw out there, and I think you've heard this song, and I find this song very funny, but it is a song called Parked Out by the Lake by Dean Summerwind.
Yes.
Not the real songwriter's name. He's actually a real country musician. I forget his real name, but he created, I think, what is a banger of a country music ballad, but he filled it in with shitty lyrics, kind of like the Chacarone song.
Shitty? I'm sorry, shitty? I would say haiku lyrics.
They are. So
minimalism at its finest.
Every line is just, I'm parked out by the lake 80 miles from Santa Fe. And it's just a variation of that sentiment over and over throughout the whole song. And I fucking love it. I think it's incredible. I think he makes a really compelling love ballad out of it.
Like Juliana Finch was the one who she introduced that to me. Now I think you have played in our van on tour the most cursed song, which is the Spice Girls Wannabe
by Pluffnub,
where it slows down by half a beat the lyrics and goes down half a tone.
Yeah, so
every lyrical verse.
Pluffnub is a YouTube musician. He's a very talented musician, but he also plays with the master tracks of popular songs. And so he takes the actual tracks of Wannabe by Spice Girls and he slows the singing down.
Not the backing music.
The back music is
just
the same.
The lyrics, just the singing.
Slowed down by like 10%, and everything is pitched down slightly. So they're all just out of tune.
But it's like a lobster in a boiling pot of water. So we were driving through Albuquerque, New Mexico, and you put this song on unbeknownst, and I instantly knew what it was happening. Mm. And then it was listening to Mal Blum slowly lose their goddamn mind. Like not comprehending what was happening. We're like, why is Jeffrey playing Wannabe? I was like, maybe he just likes this song. Symphony Sanders started screaming because she knew what was up.
Yep.
And then Mal just lost their goddamn mind.
Yep. It's so good.
So, take a moment, pause this podcast, listen to the most cursed song on the internet.
I'll put a link to Wannabe over on YouTube in the show notes, so check that out.
Because there is
great.
We rolled folk, horror, and technology. And listen, I think this movie is a good representation of both. And segueing from Wannabe, cursed Wannabe, into like, there is something so evocative of music, and there is something joyful, glorious. Amadeus, Mozart, Bach is represented in this movie. And then you have something that I find really fascinating, which is like the Venus and Fur, the two songs by Venus and Furs, which are like sexy, but in a dark, ritualistic kind of way. And then you also have this repeated refrain of the Lords of Salem. And I think it's just really fascinating how music and technology combine to evoke a mood. if that mood is witches are coming to get you.
There's also the idea that these ancient witches are using the technology of broadcast to reach people. I've said this before on the show, but my favorite type of 3-star movie, you go look this up on any review site and it's going to tell you 40% on Rotten Tomatoes or 4.7 stars on IMDb or whatever. And listen, this movie isn't good in a lot of ways, but it's also incredible in a lot of ways, right? And my favorite 3-star film is the one that is just swinging for the fucking fences. And it's and this movie is constantly swinging for the fences. It's also I'm sort of interested now that we're like in 2026, we're starting to get a more clear picture of the decade of the aughts and kind of how it bled into the 2010s. And this feels very much like an aughts movie, even though it came out in 2012, 2013, where we have a main character with white dreads, just kind of matter of fact.
Yep. White dreads, the big furry coat with the kind of Almost Famous, chick from the Almost Famous coat.
Yep.
Oh my God, the
rectangular glasses.
Oh my God, I had a pair of those. Those were the last pair of glasses that I had before I got LASIK. Yeah, it was a time.
It was a time. It very much was.
So, yes, there are some things that you're like, I don't know. I don't know. But I will say this. I want to give the set designer, the art director of this movie, like 2 big, enthusiastic kisses on the cheek.
100%.
Because this movie is just filled with cool-looking lamps and wallpaper and prints. God bless it.
Even a lot of the establishing shots, I think, are really, really great. Like the streets of Salem, Massachusetts in like gray, overcast. Like it's very shitty town Massachusetts looking.
It's a New England winter.
Yeah. It kind of bounces back and forth between what looks like black and white, even though we're shooting in color. They don't have to use a black and white filter to create a sort of element of drab gray.
Yeah. And I mean, everything in Heidi's apartment is black and white. Her wardrobe is either like kind of wild 60s print, like Paisley's, but mostly it's black and white.
Yeah.
Which I think is kind of a cool metaphor for this film, which is like you've kind of got your black Satanist witches and your good white knight on a horse.
Right.
With his silver hair representing the good of the world. And, it's pretty clear who wins in the end.
I was really intrigued with the narrative choice of this film. Not narrative choice, the kind of the depictive choice of the witches in this movie.
Okay.
We have a hard time letting go of the Salem witch trial narrative that they were real witches, right? That there is, as opposed to it was literally like a witch hunt that we were using to kill women.
It was probably a land grab.
Yeah, I mean, who even knows why ICE exists and what we're doing? I mean, we know why, but it's tied into all kinds of crazy fears that we use to stir up in order to destroy the people we just deep down don't like because of misogyny or racism or xenophobia or what have you.
Because they were playing crazy music in the middle of the woods in the middle of the night, and they were making me crazy. They must be witches. Now, playing bone flutes probably didn't help their case, but
no,
whatever.
Or if you're behaving sort of strangely or what have you by whatever the norm is. But this movie is interesting because at the beginning, we start with these witches around a bonfire, like just screaming, "We love you, Satan!" They're
going hard. I love that this movie is like kind of a slower, like it's a slow-paced Rob Zombie film, which is kind of a not two things that I would not normally put together. But I love this choice to go real hard in the beginning and then kind of settle into a much slower-paced, almost like a mystery film.
Yeah, it actually feels a little like a Giallo film to me. It feels kind of like an American Argento. It's got its moments of big splashes of color and gore, but you're right, it is kind of deep down a mystery more than a horror.
It's a trap has been set and is slowly closing on someone that doesn't know they're in a trap until it's way fucking too late.
Yeah.
But we have to establish just how freaky deaky these original witches are. And listen, I love it.
Uh-huh.
I think it's great. Because the commitment, man. Like, they're committing to this, you know, like each of the witches goes around. They're like, I denounce thee, usurper, Jesus Christ, I hate you. And like each one has but they all have a different kind of personality. They're like, they look different. Like, it's the vocal and the physical choices of these actors are like you said, they're shooting for the moon. They're swinging for the stalls.
Yep.
And sometimes they actually connect.
I don't know if you caught, I had to look this up because I was like, she is so familiar to me. The actor who plays Margaret Morgan, kind of the main witch.
Meg Foster.
Like, Meg Foster from They Live.
That's it.
She's that, like, it's the steely eyes. She's got contacts in this, but but once I saw her face,
she has
I
those
was like,
White Walker eyes.
Yeah, she has White Walker eyes. Absolutely.
Well, we've got some. I mean, this is one of the reasons why I do love Rob Zombie is because he knows he's a fan, and he gives work to actors that you maybe haven't seen since the 70s or 80s.
Yeah.
So, like
Maria Conchita Alonso.
This cast is stacked.
Patricia
Quinn, Magenta from the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yep.
Dee Wallace. Like, I fucking love, like, and Judy Geeson, and then gives these actors kind of like roles that they can take a bite out of and say, no, go shoot for, like, turn that shit up to 11.
Lacey, Sonny, and Megan in this movie, when we finally get to that trio of those three women, Dee Wallace as Sonny is so good because she's such a wine mom.
Yes, she is. She has that voice that is so soothing and comforting and not peppy, but like, yeah, she's like your favorite aunt who bakes you Rice Krispie treats and is maybe a little drunk when she does.
Yeah.
But she has nothing but good things that she wants to give you. And she might also be a witch who will murder your boyfriend with a frying pan. Hold my cigarette. That's my favorite moment in this entire fucking movie, where she wordlessly just like literally holds up her cigarette for Lacey to hold, and she's like, "Okay, here we go." Bam, bam, murdered. Takes her cigarette right back.
So good. Well, we set up at the beginning not only the witches who are screaming things like "We trample on the cross, stand ready to desecrate our false bodies," etc., and then also there's a cut to this goat. This goat's face is like, what the shit is going on? It's so good. But also, during this, we have this voiceover of this man from 1696, Jonathan Hawthorne, who is like, as I write these words, the witch Margaret Morgan gathers her coven around Salem, listening to rock music and...
the music, the drums are driving me mad.
And I like the setup because both the witches and Jonathan Hawthorne are such extreme versions of that trope. Yeah. We can't trust either of them.
Of course.
Because these witches seem crazy.
Oh,
you know.
But also they just want to dance.
But also, they're just doing their thing. And Jonathan Hawthorne also seems crazy because of, well, we know how we feel about the men committing the Salem witch trials. Well, we meet Heidi LaRocque.
Yes.
Okay. In your lessons on male gaze, I know this is Rob Zombie's wife here.
Yes.
But in your lessons on male gaze, she sleeps in bed, naked, no covers, face down, but naked except wearing thigh-high stockings. I love this.
Sure.
And I'm like, girl, show it. Show it off.
Sure. Honestly, that I'm on board with.
Yes.
I don't know if I've ever fallen asleep with just my socks, like balls out naked.
Yeah.
With only socks on. Like, that has probably never happened in my life. But what's even weirder is when she, like, later in the film, where she has on, like, the boxers that are just, like, pulled down, like, below her ass.
Yeah.
And I was like, I know she's on heroin, but girl, you a mess.
I thought that was the only thing that took me out of the movie is we open with this shot of her sleeping nude in stockings. I'm like, fine. But then later we see her sleeping, but she's got a t-shirt and boxers on.
Yeah,
and I'm
normal.
like, like normal. But I'm like, here's the thing. With the exception of like, sometimes it's just so crazy cold out and you have bad insulation by your windows or something. For the most part, people have a way they sleep. And they don't change it up unless they're seeing somebody new or whatever. And they're just being like, oh, maybe I shouldn't go to sleep naked the first time or whatever. Yeah, that was it. I was just like, oh, we're just showing different ways in which he's got a sexy fucking wife.
Sexy wife.
Yeah.
My sexy wife. I do love the transition, though, from the like utter disgusting, like, you know, the Winches are like, I love that line, like, prepare to defile your corporeal bodies or whatever they say. So we've been watching like 5 hard minutes of like gross nudity.
Yes.
Like unattractive nudity. And then it's this, look, but here's this beautiful sleeping woman. How could this perfect sweet baby angel ever be evil?
And it's great because the first thing she does is get up and feed the dog and then take a shit. Which is exactly what he's going for. When she's grabbing her morning paper, 2000s, her morning paper, she sees a shadowy figure down the hall by apartment 5, just standing in the doorway. She's like, hey, you the new tenant?
I'm in number 2. Okay, then. It's like backlit in red. Like, no, don't like that.
And she tells her landlord, Lacey. And Lacey's like, well, I can't rent that apartment. I keep trying. Nobody wants it. You said you saw someone? I mean, I'll check it out, but ain't nobody there.
That's weird. Yeah, there's nobody in that apartment. Heidi.
And then we meet the Big H team. WIQZ Salem rocks.
I've only ever had one job where I had to listen to like early morning shock jock radio. Like, and it was, and listen, I have to say, so I had to open a coffee shop in Chicago. So I had to like be up at 4 a.m. to get that place open by like 5:30 or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
In Chicago. And I will say this, the loudness and the stupidness of it did kind of help catapult me into my dead-end job when it was like December in Chicago at 4:30 in the morning.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of the need for that morning drive time, right? Like that that FM wacky morning zoo thing is everybody's in a fucking grumpy mood because they're having to drive like the goddamn work. And it's like an extension of the alarm. Yeah.
And then when I got into work, then I could put on whatever music I wanted to listen to. But it was for the drive to the coffee shop. It was dumb, but it helped get me out of bed.
And now here's Shakira with da-da-da-da-da-da. She didn't sing that song. But we've got Heidi LaRock, Herman Salvador, and Herman Jackson. The idea of naming both of these guys Herman is really weird to me.
Well, because they're Heidi, Herman, and Herman, so I guess the Big H, they're all H's, I guess.
I see. That's why we did Big H team. Okay.
But yeah, why 2 Hermans? I don't know.
But they're interviewing this guy, Count Gorgon, from some death metal band.
No. I love it. It's like, well, they're not even interviewing. It's just like cut to music video of like black metal, death metal screaming.
Uh-huh.
And Heidi's like, I think I like it. They're like, my first kiss happened to this song.
Well, and like Whitey is like, their nicknames are Whitey and Munster, the other Hermans. And so Whitey is like, he's like, I think my mother lost her virginity to this song.
It's just the sincerity with which this guy, I can't.
I like this Count Gorgon's whole thing is saying all this crazy shit, and it just cuts to Munster, and he just goes, okay.
Just like, this is nonsense.
No.
But thanks for coming on the show.
Oh, my God. But I was, triggered by all of the crazy like fart drops and sound effects.
I love it.
I mean,
I think
it's so funny, but I have a part of me that's like, I'm averse to that. Like it's
like
a misophonia to fart drops.
Like every word has a stupid sound effect to go to it.
Well, Heidi's received a package, and it's in this really nice wooden crate from a band calling themselves the Lords. And I like this setup. It makes sense because any other person getting this, that would be weird. But she's a radio DJ, does rock music. I mean, if you've ever worked at a theater company, you get crazy packaging all the time for people sending their...
Here's my play. Here's my headshot. Yeah.
So somebody sent their resume, cover letter, and headshot inside a little paper bag in the envelope at the theater I worked for in Dallas. And when you open it up,
like a lunch paper,
just a simple paper bag. And when you open it up, the first line of the cover letter was, "I can act my way out of one of these."
Shh, no, directly to jail. Directly to jail.
We did. We called the cops. We called 911.
We're like,
and they were like, "Oh my God, we'll be right over." So this package is just it's an LP. It's an album. She's like, I'll listen to it later. And then she and Whitey go back home together. Put on
some Venus and Furs.
They're all hammered, by the way.
Yes.
So we'll learn later that she is no longer participating in heavy drug use, but certainly the alcohol and cigarettes are kind of like filling in that void for her in the meantime, which is better than meth or whatever she's smoking.
Heroin.
Later. Yeah. But they turn on this. Whitey's like, "Here, record ran out. Let's listen to your new thing."
I love the look of this record. It doesn't look like a modern record. Mm-hmm. It's smaller. It's thicker. It looks evil.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the fact that when he puts the needle on, it just goes zook. He's like, "Oh shit, sorry, I owe you a new record needle." Zook. But when she puts it on, works perfectly.
Yeah.
Like, this is not for you, sir. This is for her.
And so Spice Girls Wannabe starts playing.
Yep, absolutely.
And he's like, "Oh my God, this is garbage. Maybe we should play Smash or Trash with this thing tomorrow."
Yes.
But Heidi is having a reaction. And she is having visions of those crazy witches.
Them crazy, all of them witches.
I want to listen to their AM morning or FM morning drive show.
Right?
And it's like, in this imagery, they're cutting a woman open and taking the baby out of her, and then licking the baby and going, "Ooh, gross.
Your innocence and cuteness disgusts me. I spit on you, baby."
Yeah, they start spitting in this baby's face. It's so good. Oh, I fucking love these girls. They're so much fun.
The Morgans, the Margaret Morgans trio. Septet.
Get me on. What's their Witcher? What's their dating app? I don't know.
Yeah,
but
oh my God. Why isn't there a Witcher dating app?
Maybe there is. Y'all let us know.
For witches, by witches.
Yeah.
Like
Witcher.
Pansexual, pangendered Witcher. I would subscribe.
Sure.
I'd rather give them my money than Grindr, I'll tell you that. They're fucking AI nonsense.
Okay, so all of that was... We get title cards for days of the week. I'm not sure if that's helpful.
I mean, it kind of gives us a, like... All of this happens in the span of a week, which I love. I kind of like are weeks going by? Is it... But it's like, in the span of 1 week, we're going to watch Heidi's situation deteriorate from going out with her coworkers, having a fucking great time. She has loving people in her life. She has a situationship that is like kind of fun, but also like they work together and, you know, they have a complicated relationship, but she's like, "You sleep on the couch," you know, like but it's like you see her devolve from there to where she ends up and I think it's important that like in these psychological supernatural horror movies, when like one person is targeted and they're kind of ensnared in that mesh of fucking crazy horror movie bullshit, just how quickly it can deteriorate, and how like the lead character is just trying to figure out that they're in a horror movie, which I don't think Heidi really does ever.
No, she's in the part of the horror movie where the horror is the metaphor for her life.
Yeah.
You could, if you wanted to, say none of the supernatural stuff is real in this movie. Mm-hmm. You could say all of the witchery stuff is the horror movie, or is the metaphor for her drug use, right? It's the way in which she's having a hard time readjusting to the world as a sober person. Yeah. But she's very committed to that. Like, she's going to her AA meetings. She's like, granted, she is going out drinking tequila, which I'm sure they probably frown on in NA. But hey, yeah,
don't tell your sponsor. You'll be fine.
Right. But I only mean to say that, like, the call of the drugs is so difficult for her.
Palpable.
Yeah. And so you could have that read pretty easily too.
And especially
it's always
when,
going to be
like,
that return to evil.
She's surrounded by people that do see, not her coworkers, but her landlady and her kooky friends that seem like we have your best interest. Like, hey, just come and drink a bottle of wine with us.
Yeah.
That kind of the lure of the enabler. We're just going to do like a little bit. You'll be fine. Just like 2 hits.
So she's going to interview, she and the Hermans are going to interview Francis Matthias, author of The Truth About the Salem Witch Trials. And he is...
I'm sure that's well-worn territory that no one's ever written a book about.
That's right. This guy, Bruce Davison, is great in this role.
He's so good.
I talk about, like, show business cannot by its nature be real life, but this man most closely resembles his character than almost anyone I've ever seen on film. Like, I know this college professor type.
Yes.
I 100% know this man.
He is the town historian. He's like a good-looking older gentleman, that, like, you see him on the street and you're like, I bet you have a jacket with patches on the elbows, don't you?
I was trying to put my finger on what it was, and I think there's you know what it is that there's a big fish, small pond feel to him, in that, like, he's not cartoonishly arrogant or anything like that. He's actually very likable, but he does strike me as the person who he's got the sticker on his book at the local bookstore. It says local author. Do you know what I mean? And he comes in and does signings and all kinds of lectures. And so he's kind of like big in his tiny little circle. And there's nothing about him that's really unlikable, other than there's just a little twinge of that type of arrogance to him, which I love.
Yeah.
This is one of those points that it did kind of like take me a little bit to process what he was saying. Not that it was complicated, but that, like, the moral part of it, which is when they're talking to him about the Salem witch trials, he's clearly coming from a point of view of, hey, these were real things where we murdered like 25 women and men for, if you count the people we let rot in prison as well, that it really was just a way in which these were like political murders.
Yeah.
But when Heidi asks him, but was there like any reality to witchery? And he says, instead of saying no, that's not my angle. My angle is these are real people. He says witchcraft is nothing but a psychotic belief by a delusional state of mind.
Oh.
And that felt out of nowhere to me. That
black and white thinking.
Black and white. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's counterbalancing the, like, we spit upon the cross.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's also, he does come to, like, and the Boston, Salem, Massachusetts, Wiccan local 495 is a peace-loving, nature-loving group. They exist, but magic, girl, you delusional.
We got to have a bunch of jokes about women who don't shave their armpits because of the mention of Wiccans. And then they do Smash or Trash on the album from the Lords of Salem. And suddenly, every woman in town,
I love this,
who's listening to the radio gets put into a trance.
I love this because I think this is the insidious nature of the power of technology and the power of music. And like, so you have these like 7 creepy old women spitting on babies out in the middle of the woods in the 1600s. But what happens if you give those women a megaphone that reaches everyone in town? Or what happens if I would listen to the Margaret Morgan podcast that could reach an international audience.
I would listen to the podcast with Judy Geese and Patricia Quinn and Dee
Oh my
Wallace.
God. Yes. The trio.
Yes.
God, those, like the palm reader, the self-help expert, and the landlady. Mm-hmm. Like that would rule my life.
Okay. So I loved this scene where all these women go into a trance.
Yes.
But this is, by the end of the movie, I kept thinking about that, which is why I said earlier that Rob Zombie is doing American Argento.
Yeah.
And it's not the witchcraft, it's not the Suspiria witchcraft that I'm referring to. It's the fact that Argento's movies, and the ones we've covered for the show, the ones I've seen, are... there's a style over substance, and I don't really mean that in a fully derogatory way.
No, they prioritized it that way.
They prioritize it as in, like, he's swinging for the stalls, too. Like, he's looking for the true outcome, and he wants the home run visual hit. And that's what drives the arc of his films. And I think that's what's driving the arc of this movie, too. But the part of you that craves plot and continuity, who wants a smart film, as it were, like whatever we mean by like a smart film, a literary film, is to say that I want to see what you just said, which is I want to see how this affects all of these women, or the way in which, like, where this is going to go. But this goes nowhere with any of these women. It doesn't really... We're probably ultimately just trying to single out Heidi, and everything else is just we're evil monsters who get paid by the hour, so let's just do some fun stuff. It just doesn't go anywhere, but it's beautiful. It's a really neat idea.
I mean, I think the payoff is supposed to be the Lords of Salem concert.
Yeah.
But again, I was anticipating like women in the street, like
yes,
the entire kind of like a Pied Piper of Hamelin kind of scenario.
Yeah, it's implied.
Like the song is played over the radio once, the song is played over the radio twice, and by the end, like hordes of women are standing still in the streets, which we kind of get at the final performance. And I want to adjust, like, I hear what you're saying about Argento, and definitely in like the kind of the lighting and the look of this. I would say this is a Ken Russell homage.
I could see that.
Because Ken Russell movies always have like crazy big set pieces. Are always like deconstructing / lashing out at sort of a Catholicism, the grandiosity of the church.
Right.
And also like he's created, Ken Russell's created some epic baddies over the years.
Yeah.
And I would also like to point out this film has no digital effects in it.
Yeah, this is shot on film, right?
It's shot on digital.
Oh, it is shot on digital.
But there's no effects. There's no special effects. It is all set pieces, lighting, locations, makeup, prosthetics. It is all practical. Like there's a great scene later where like when Heidi is entering the tomb of the birth of Satan, whatever the fuck is happening. And it's that long hallway, that black and white hallway, and it enters into this grand cathedral space. Practical. Like they recreated that doorway, that hallway, and then pushed a camera through it in that space. And I'm like, fuck yes, Rob Zombie. Think creative, love it.
Actually, just skimming here, I just see that Rob Zombie described this movie is his hope was he wanted it to be as if Ken Russell directed The Shining.
Oh,
was what he was going
go.
for. There it is. There's
Love
your
it.
Ken Russell. Yeah, that scene is tremendous, and I love hearing that this was all done practically. I think that's what makes this movie so compelling is those hit visual pieces.
Yeah.
And
like at the end when like it's Heidi sitting on the sort of the moon, black and white moon image from her bedroom is now like in the lobby of this grand theater, and the like red, it's not blood, it's like fabric made. There's a theatricality to Rob Zombie that like I will always kind of stan him and be like, listen, you make some gross films, some hard to watch films, but one, he has a sense of humor, and two, he gives you something fucking cool to look at every 4 to 5 minutes.
he really does. And he's swinging for the stalls. He's having a great time. And I think visually this very much feels like an art house film. Like you don't think when you hear Rob Zombie directed some horror films that you're like, okay, well, you sort of imagine what that's going to be.
Yes.
But what you get is, I think, very much art house experimental sensibility to it, which is what's so fun about it.
Meets come through Fredericks of Hollywood.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
You know,
I mean,
come through like Sunset Boulevard, or no, not Sunset. Like come through like a down like Los Angeles kind of flash and trash kind of style.
Yeah, of course, yeah. And even his like horror beats that he lands on, like his, the male gaze or what have you, like he's playing with it in a deliberate sort of way that is
for sure.
interesting. That is, I joke about like he just wants to look at his hot wife. I think that's part of it, but also he's playing with the ugly nudity versus the pretty nudity. Yeah,
I mean, we get boobies within a minute of this movie opening, so there's your male gaze. You got your boobies.
There it
what
is.
more do you want? They might be covered in blood and mud, but you get boom right there.
Well, they Francis in this when they're listening to this cursed song for Smash or Trash in the radio station, Francis, the author, the professor type guy, he notices that man, this music, something's really upsetting to me about this.
Something's really upsetting about the music.
And also Heidi goes
into
into
name. Oh yeah, she's like, I can't just turn it, like it's giving me a migraine.
Yeah, mute it in my earphones. And
it's more the name that they're like, because I think it's
the Lords of Salem.
Yes, the Lords of Salem kind of is like, that sounds so familiar. And that's going to be like, that's about as much plot as we get in this movie. Like, that sounds familiar. To the library I go. Oh, look, I found it.
I love how easy it is to find books in these movies, library books. He finds a book written by another older white guy author. And in that, he finds the phrase "the Lords of Salem" and the writing of John Hawthorne, who we heard at the beginning. But John Hawthorne also notated the music he heard them playing in the woods.
That's convenient.
It is. And he's going to have...
What's the fretting? What's the chord structure there?
So tell me what you want, what you really, really want.
So tell me what you want, what you really, really want.
He's going to have his wife, Alicia, played by Maria Conchita Alonso.
Brilliant.
Star of stage and screen. And he's going to have her play that on the piano, and he realizes, the thing he notated.
It's the same music.
It's the same music.
Because she recorded it. She's like, oh, baby, when you were on the radio, I recorded it so you could listen to yourself. He's like, no, I hate listening. But, oh, wait, did you record that weird song that they played? So he has like and I think it's interesting that Alice, his wife, never seems to be affected by the music. Plot hole.
That's true.
Sure.
Yeah.
But she does seem to be like nonplussed.
That's true. Yeah, completely unaffected.
It's because she's smoking a joint in the bathtub. She's like, I don't have time for this.
Yeah.
This business. I've got other things to think about. Mostly my bubble bath.
So we're going to meet the trio. We're going to meet Lacey and her
fucking
sisters.
Love these three. Oh, God. Come meet my sisters.
this movie does this thing where it's, we at the beginning when we saw the figure in apartment 5, like shadowy figure in the background, which is so great. For me, the weakest horror parts of this movie are these kind of visual jump scares.
Yeah.
I liked the shadow in apartment 5 to start. Like, that's great. That's a very, like, mama sort of thing of like, But before visiting these ladies and having her wine party with them, she goes upstairs to feed her dog Troy, and as she turns on the kitchen light, there's just like this gnarled looking witch lady standing on the counter that she can't see, but we can.
I guess it's the spirit of Margaret Morgan slowly penetrating the reality of this world. Like,
Maybe.
She's not fully in the world, she's just like an apparition.
Yeah.
But what we get is like silver Bondo body paint.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Which is cool. Again, it's fucking cool looking. Does it make sense? Not as much. But we do get some fun jump scares out of it.
Yeah. I think for me, it's the timing of it. When you see a light switch turn on and then there's a figure there you don't expect.
Yeah.
This one fell into that weird cavity between scary and funny.
Yes.
And I think he was going for scary then funny, which is like it's scary when the light comes on and she's there.
Yeah. You jump and you go, oh my God, that's so dumb.
But then she's there for a little bit.
Yeah.
And at that point it becomes funny.
Yeah.
But he didn't quite have it down, but I liked the attempt if he's going for the humor there. But downstairs, we get into a palm reading. And Megan is going to read Heidi's palm, and Megan goes right for it.
Oh my God, Megan's so intense.
Mm-hmm.
I love this discussion of fate versus destiny. This is your line of fate. Well, what's my destiny? No, not your destiny. Your destiny implies that you have some choice in the matter. You take an action to fight the monster, to run away, to do something, not do something. Fate is predetermined by 3 metaphysical women who measure your cord and cut your cord. And you have no fucking choice in that matter.
She culminates all of this in you have to make peace with all of the dirty, sexy thoughts you have in your head and dripping between your legs, or however she phrases that. You're like, this is a bit much. I'm going to go to bed now.
Yeah, I may be a little too drunk for this.
I like that Lacey's like, it's so annoying. You get so intense, Megan.
Just like, don't pay any attention to her. But I love it how it's like, people in your coven, your besties, you can be like, ugh, Megan.
Yeah.
Come on. We're trying to reel her in, not push her away. Okay, fine. But I mean, she is really talented. But also, Megan.
I love this trio. This trio is so good. Their friendship is relatable and palpable. And it by the end of this movie, because the movie starts with like evil witches were real in Salem. And by the end, you're like, sure, but also I kind of would mind hanging out with them. Again,
get on Witcher.
I got to get on Witcher. Okay.
It is also the sort of the come on in and have a glass of wine. What can it hurt? And then later when Heidi is starting to go through it, like that shot of them appearing in her peephole.
Uh-huh.
And her door, like a la the next door neighbors in Rosemary's Baby, but they've got the like scones and they've got the tea and the perfect like silver pitcher. They're like, comfort? Yep. We're here.
Yeah.
You could probably use some help right now because, you're going to give birth to a shrimp Satan baby here in a minute. You need some cream tea.
He's definitely channeling Ruth Gordon here.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
From
but then
Rosemary's Baby.
Then the flip in which the intimidation, like you see how they are with Heidi versus how they are with Whitey and with Francis Matthias.
Uh-huh.
The like arm, like they're like literally standing. It's like, I'm sorry, are we standing in her way? like a fucking gang of evil teenagers. Oh, but we're just women. We're not here to get in your way.
No.
Go on through, if you can.
Yes, online shopping is quite literally at our fingertips, but that doesn't mean it's always simple to buy. Whether it's trying to remember one of a million different logins so you can actually place your order, or getting almost all the way through checkout before realizing your card is nowhere near you, there are many hiccups that can get between you and placing that order. Which is why it's such a relief when you see that purple pay button that has all of your information saved, making checkout as simple as a tap of your screen. That iconic purple Shop Pay button is why Shopify has the best converting checkout on the planet, meaning less carts going abandoned and more sales going to you. Shopify is the commerce platform behind millions of businesses around the world and 10% of all e-commerce in the US, from household names like Thrive Cosmetics, Gymshark, and Allbirds, to brands just getting started. And they're not just great at converting sales. If people haven't heard about your brand yet, Shopify can help you find your customers with easy-to-run email and social media campaigns. And they have world-class expertise in everything from managing inventory to international shipping to processing returns and beyond. Tackle all of those important tasks from one place, making your life easier and your business operations smoother. See less carts go abandoned and more sales go with Shopify and their Shop Pay button. Sign up for your $1 per month trial today at shopify.com/realm. Go to shopify.com/realm. That's shopify.com/realm.
Hey, so while we're in a break, I want to tell you about a writer I really like, and I think you like her too, Sarah Maria Griffin, frequent guest on this very horror show. Sarah's an incredible novelist, and if you like the Venn diagram merger of beautiful, intense, and what the fuck, I cannot recommend reading her books enough. Her latest from 2025 is called Eat the Ones You Love, and it's about a plant baby that may need more than a typical plant baby. Before you think, hey, I know Little Shop of Horrors, sure, there's the homage, but I promise this novel goes in some jaw-dropping and gut-wrenching directions. Sarah is a special talent, and if you enjoy her on the show, then you'll love her on the page. Go get Eat the Ones You Love by Sarah Maria Griffin wherever you get your books. So she has uneasy dreams that night, and she wakes up to Troy has gotten out of the apartment. She gets up to whatever, and Troy slips out. Troy runs down and starts digging at the doorway to apartment 5.
Yeah, leave that apartment alone.
And that door cracks open, and she goes in.
Oh, you just going to investigate?
And there is a red neon cross on the wall.
Listen, it's very important to stage your home before you sell it.
Yep.
And I think nothing says we've got a strong contender for home buyers than just a single red neon cross, and everything else is just covered in black crepe paper.
Yeah, it's like bohemian minimalist. It's great. I love it. Yeah.
But I do like, I like, it's so over the top, but I do love this, that like in modern day, Christianity is distilled down to its most flimsy aspect, which is the Jesus saves roadside neon evangelical, like the shadow of its former self, which is the kind of the Rococo romantic church, that is kind of like the grandeur of Bach and Mozart and these beautiful spaces that were built, built in the glory of God, to pray to this neon cross. That's what Jesus has become. And it's like, it's kind of like between the witches and Jesus, you're like, oh no, I think the witches are going to win.
They do have more going on. In the process of staring at this thing, we see like the beast come up from behind her.
Fun.
You've been
Sasquatched.
You have been Sasquatch. Sasquatch has not had a manicure in a while.
No. But he doesn't really attack her. He's just chilling.
Yeah, he's just observing her, and it's more depicting the beast's presence at the bonfire.
Yeah.
Because it flashes sort of back to the bonfire where the beast is present around these women. And then back into the apartment where it's just the neon cross. And
it's kind of a more over the top version of the depiction that we saw in the Black Coat's daughter.
Yeah.
In which Bad Bunny appeared.
Yeah. So she hears whispering from Margaret Morgan of dost thou want to live deliciously?
Oh my God, of course. Sure.
It's a lot of that dost thou want to live deliciously sort of stuff, but then she eventually says you have to bleed us a king. So, which means you're going to have to pass a kidney stone the shape of a lobster, basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
She wakes up in bed and you kind of get the sense of she's like, oh, I'm just having nightmares again.
Yes.
End of Tuesday. This is just Tuesday. Wednesday, she's going to go visit the church.
She's out walking her dog. Again, some of these shots are gorgeous. This beautiful fall in New England, her walking over this bridge. It's the beauty of the nature. Again, the sort of the Wiccan aspect of nature. I don't know. Let's worship a tree here for a second and a river. This seems rather nice. And she's walking her dog through the cemetery and she's feeling a little freaked out, clearly. So she wanders into this church. It's very pretty and quiet inside. And hot priest from, not the one from Fleabag, but a different hot priest. This is more of porn star priest, like male stripper hot. Come on in. What brings you in? You seem like a girl with loose morals. Here, why don't you give me a blowjob while I preach at you?
Yeah, where he starts screaming about, there is a war waging in heaven. God does not spare angels when they sin. Only I can save you.
Really?
He goes from normal priest to saying all this stuff and then forcing her head down into his lap. And then suddenly we see his face and he's spitting. Yeah,
it's a shot of blood
or what have you.
He's paled out, black eyes, black goo coming out of his mouth, which is you're like, oh, and then we get the reality of the situation, which is she has fallen asleep in this church, and this priest is like, hey, you fell asleep. Are you? Oh shit. Oh, I'm
okay.
sorry, ma'am. You can stay as long as you want.
Yeah.
Jesus saves.
So, and then she goes to sit with her thoughts out in the graveyard behind the church. She needs a smoke. And then she sees a man walking a goat who isn't actually there.
I do also love the repeated use of the iron mask.
Yeah.
And it's again, Rob Zombie fucking loves a reference. So it's in her apartment, in Whitey's apartment, they're always kind of watching late night black and white movies. And one of the movies that's on is sort of a early Scarface, a gangster movie. And one of them has this sort of blank mask. This dude has on a blank mask. Later on, all these sort of masked figures in nun outfits, in nurse outfits, in surgeon this kind of the institutions of man are all kind of the same, and none of them are going to help you. And then we do get a payoff for that, which is the iron mask that is put on Margaret Morgan.
Yes. As
she is sacrificed by the Puritans.
Yeah, she's executed and around this fire. Lots more happens that we've already talked about. This is where we kind of get into Francis and his library adventures and things like that, and him looking into the music that Hawthorne notated. Heidi, they play the music at the station another time, and Heidi just is like, I can't, and winds up in the bathroom, locked in the bathroom, crying.
Yeah.
And then there's just a shot of just rats covering her apartment hallway.
Uh-oh.
Wednesday's done. Thursday.
We got tickets to the Lords of Salem. We got 100 free tickets. Show is free. Come on down to the Salem Palladium for a free concert.
Whitey comes to visit Heidi, And he's, that evening and is telling her, like, hey, you were freaking out yesterday. That was really weird. And then she starts coughing.
Yeah.
Blood.
Well, it's as soon as she says, I think there's something about that record that is fucking with me. So it's like, again, it's a curse. Like you have to activate the curse. And part of the rules of a curse is you can't talk about the curse. And if you do, you're going to cough up blood. So like there is, like it's subtle, but it's there. And which I think is, again, God, there's another film. Oh, God, what film was this? Oh, no, this is from Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell, from the book and the TV show, in which it's like you can speak normally, but when you try to talk about the curse, you just speak nonsense words. So the idea that the curse has a built-in failsafe.
It's got a two-step verification sort of security feature. Yep.
So like they've cursed Heidi with this record and this song, and they're putting the pressure on her, visions, nightmares, but she can't like they're also systematically cutting off all lines of support in her life and funneling her into, don't you want, you baby, my poor baby, come here, have some scones and tea. That's comforting.
He calls 911 and suddenly there are gray-faced men dressed as nurses.
As surgeons.
And then they
start pulling out her intestines.
Well, at first they just touch Whitey and he just dies.
Yes. He just sort of goes, he doesn't die. He just, he goes sort of catatonic.
He powers down. Yeah.
Yes.
And then we've got her being tied down and cut open and innards pulled out. And then boom, she's awake in bed. And the weird Iron Mask figure, like poster thing on her wall is crying blood.
I'm thinking about redoing my bathroom in this style. And then when people come over to visit, I'm going to like press a button and then
crying.
The walls are going to weep blood.
Oh, it's so good.
And then never mention it to them.
Oh, you have a blood feature in your home. I love that.
Huh? What are you talking about?
Well, all of this is a lot to take in. So, you know what? These Marlboro Reds aren't doing it for me. I need the hard stuff. And so she goes to buy her.
To the dealer she goes.
I like that this dealer is so nonchalant about his dealing that he's like, you know what? I'm the red door with two skulls on it in the alley.
Yeah. Like, you know exactly where you're at.
It's Friday, and she is smoking her meth and listening to French instructional language tape.
I mean, listen, you got to fill the afternoon somehow.
Lacey comes in. It's like, I thought maybe you could use some company.
Yeah, you seem down.
Yeah, come hang out with me and the girls. Well, Francis has learned through this other author that he met that basically Margaret Morgan had put a curse on John Hawthorne's entire family line. And he looks up Heidi LaRocque, clearly just a nom de plume, just a stage name.
Nom de radio.
Nom de radio. And it turns out her full name is Adelaide Elizabeth Hawthorne.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
He gets on Ask Jeeves.
Just familytree.com. Okay, listen.
Familytree.com.org.edu.
If you've ever done any type of genealogy research.
Oh my God. Is it this easy?
No! So it's not.
It's all just laid out there, all the research.
It's got a full fucking family tree. You can just track back to anyone you want.
Easy peasy.
So he realizes she is a direct descendant of John Hawthorne. And he tries calling her, but it's Megan who answers the phone, being
I love this.
Oh, I'm sorry, you have the wrong number. Don't ever call here again.
Also, it's rather rude to be calling this late anyway. Bye, bitch. Like, in that way that, like, only someone from the UK can, like, double backhand you.
Quite.
Are those the shoes you're going to wear?
So they are, the three of them, this trio, are taking care of Heidi. And by this point, we fully know they are goddamn witches. And they put her in a wheelchair and roll her down to apartment 5. They draw a chalk circle on the floor in front of the door, and then they start drawing the little symbol that we've seen on their foreheads from earlier. But when they first start drawing, it's 2 like little arcs at the top and bottom, and I thought, are they drawing a volleyball? What's happening? What are we drawing?
No, they're summoning Wilson. And they're summoning Wilson and Tom Hanks.
That'd be so good.
Castaway.
I'd love that crossover film.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They draw this design, and then they open the door, and this time, instead of that empty apartment with just a neon cross, we get a full lush manor. Like, vaulted ceilings. It's like the
lobby of an opera house.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know where this was shot. I wish I had found that information, but some of the interiors are fucking gorgeous.
So good. And the crystal chandelier and all of the gold banisters and then the red velvet couch is stunning.
And then there's a little lobster baby in the middle of it. like a little flipper baby.
She is in like full face, the poster of this film. She's in that full like white faced black.
It's kind of like Day of the Dead skeleton face.
I was like, oh, she's doing it's Dead Presidents. That's what the makeup I was thinking of.
She's gonna go rob a bank. But she's also got like umbilical cords that she's connected to the flipper baby. And you're like, oh, I think it's happening.
So she's attached to this tiny demon monster, and there you go. And then the ladies are going to take her back out of the apartment and tuck her into bed.
I love how like gently they tuck her in. Again, there's like so many shades of Rosemary's Baby of like, they're like, we're going to use you to summon our Lord Satan. And then we're going to be like, listen, you need your rest because you're going through a lot. Like it's the like, we have chosen you for our evil, nefarious schemes, but we also really, really want to know how you feel.
It's Saturday.
Here we go. Let's go to this concert.
Francis is, he's going to go pop over to check on Heidi. And he runs into Lacey out front. She's like, oh.
Friend or foe?
But, I mean, I don't know if I'm her friend, but I'm definitely not a foe.
Oh.
Well, just come in. She's stepped out. Just come in, have some tea with me and my friends. Oh, are you married? Do you have children? Oh, good that you don't have children. They're just awful.
I know. Ugh, gosh, gross. And Sonny's like, you're very handsome. Faith, happily married? Yeah, most of the time.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice for you. Honey, would you be a dear and go get the sugar from the kitchen?
I love that. I love that code because it just means come back with the fucking cast iron.
Yeah.
There's also a great turn there, too, wherein they were like, what's your urgency that you had to just race over here?
Yeah.
He starts talking about this Lords album, this Lords of Salem album. And they're like, and I think it's Sonny who says, aren't you a little too old to like that shit?
Yes. And he laughs, which I think is like, he's like, oh, ha, ha, ha. Yeah. He's like, no, I was on the show. And they're like, wait, am I a clown? Do I amuse you? Do I look like, why are you laughing? Does she look like she's laughing? She does not look like she's laughing.
And that's kind of the Rob Zombie variation on that speech, because she says, I think you've come to get inside her head and to fuck her brain. Are you going to fuck her brain? Is that what you're going to do, Francis?
Are you going to use your dick to fuck her brain?
And then just pow, cast iron, and then they just pummel him to death with it.
And I do love the fact that, like, Heidi in her, like, post-drug, post-Satan impregnation stupor is, like, on the floor. Her apartment's a fucking mess. And she can hear the murder. And she is having, like, she knows she's in the trap. She knows what's going on. But she's kind of powerless to do anything about it. Which I think is, like, a real, again, it's like there's a humanity to this. You know, like, Rob Zombie is really great at looking at monsters and finding the humanity in them, or the like, hey, let's make a Halloween remake in which we get more into the background of these characters.
Well, Whitey is going to show up, and this is where the women are sitting on the stairs being don't let us stop you. No, go on past.
There's something about the staging of this that is so beautiful and so creepy and so like Macbeth witches. It's theatrical, and there's power in theatricality.
How does this work? Lacey's like, why don't you go tell your boyfriend to wait outside?
It's okay.
It's okay. He can wait outside.
Just tell him you'll be done in a minute.
Heidi eventually comes. How does he bounce her from this place?
Yes. So she changes into her going out clothes. And then the next shot is like he's practically like holding her up. And he's got this look of like, and they're going to meet Herman. And he's like, she looks like shit. He's like, let's just get through tonight.
Uh-huh.
Tomorrow we can take her to rehab kind of speech. Like, let's just, I know. But now's not the time for an intervention.
Well, it's time for the big show.
Well, she makes it inside and she says bye-bye. And she tearfully waves goodbye, and the door closes and locks, apparently, because the boys don't make it inside. And you want to talk about theatrical.
This is a really stunning visual. I mean, this is where we're getting real art house shit, like real
It's
visual.
The power of, like, solid lighting design. It's and it's just the three women, our three ladies on stage.
I also love the smattering, just the scattering of little heads above seats. You can see how sparsely attended this is, but they have the people they want, I guess. It's
also the anonymity of the people. Like we're seeing them, like the curtains come up, and it is blinding white light. It's everything your lighting director in college told you not to do, but it looks fucking badass. And then Heidi is perched like in the mezzanine, backlit like a fucking angel, just completely like in a trance. It's very like, all for you. This is all for you, Heidi.
So when we do the Night Vale live show, I'm the MC. I do the intro, and I have kind of a set intro that I do, but I think I'm gonna change it up now. And I would like to start all of my Night Vale intros with "Welcome, whores of Salem," but I'll just insert city name there.
Welcome, whores of Portland. Are you ready to rock?
Yeah, so we've welcome. They also say we've been waiting for you, Heidi.
We have a very special guest in the audience tonight, Heidi, who's going to have our Lobster Lord baby. And now our opening, we're the opener, and now our main act, Margaret Morgan and her satanic septet. And they are fully summoned, and these ladies have fucking bone violins and bone clarinets.
They're in the bone zone.
And we're gonna play this Mumford & Sons songs to you.
Yeah, they're all like walking toward Heidi. There's also like there's a weird moment where there's like a bright red dildo being jacked off in the
yes.
What is that happening?
Well, it's these gray men, these gray people of institutions of man. So it's like cardinals and bishops sitting on thrones, but they're just holding dildos, slowly jacking themselves off.
That's it.
Like, as in, like, the church is less concerned with saving you from Satan and more concerned with pleasing themselves.
Yes, of course.
Is how I read it.
I wrote down the line because she ends up getting on a goat, and I wrote down this line because I think it's a great line. If we choose to ride upon the goat, we know what agony shall be. Put that on a coffee mug.
Yeah. There's your Witcher profile tagline.
Don't talk to me till I've ridden my goat.
I'm a mess.
It's goat o'clock.
Mommy needs her goat.
Oh, man. So then our like kind of last shot is the birth of Lord Lobster Satan.
Yes. And it's kind of
Lucifer
this like
T. Lobster.
eldritch a mini eldritch abomination, like lots of little phalanges and
it's a face hugger kind of thing.
Yeah,
it's,
kind of
with
a
a tail,
chittering, gross, unhuman things from the deep.
Pepe the prawn.
Yes, King Prawn.
Jumbo
prawn. And also all the attendees of this performance are all stripping off their clothes and joining the band on the stage.
Yep.
And they will create a human naked pyramid for Heidi to stand upon, sort of as a anti-Madonna.
And we hear, oh God, I didn't write down the song. There's some Velvet Underground song that they're playing.
What shall all the poor girls wear?
Yeah. Heidi is atop a pile of naked women, and then
for
it just
all tomorrow's parties.
Yeah, and then it cuts to just home videos of her playing with Troy, of her dog.
Like
very sweet.
Because like in her Madonna garb, in her Unholy Virgin Mary garb, she is like, her eyes are whited out. She's like, it's the not anonymity, the smoothness of a saint. Of an effigy of a saint that is like, you can kind of read whatever you want on it, but it has no expression, versus she's sitting in the park playing with her fucking dog, like the most life you can possibly have versus the least life you can possibly have.
And then it is credits, but we do get a little bit of an epilogue of just the radio, not our guys from the radio, just some other news radio or TV station saying that the mass suicide of 32 women at the Salem Historical Society auditorium or what have you. Plus, still no leads on the disappearance of WIQZ host Heidi LaRocque.
She disappeared?
Who could even know? I mean, those boys dropped her off at that theater, so I feel like they would have told the police, she was in that theater.
Yeah. I know, and I do love the radio's on the very same night as the mass. I'm like, you think these things are linked?
Do you think?
You think? Let's go interview her coworkers and her landlord.
Yeah, it just seemed weird that they didn't have that. I know script wise why they have to break it down like that, but it did seem very strange. The end. Shall we rate this film, Cecil?
Yes, let's.
All right, so on a level of approachability, if you're horror squeamish, how approachable is The Lords of Salem? With the rating of 1 to 10, 1 being not approachable, 10 being very approachable. I mean, I might give this 6 out of 10 morning zoo fart drops. Mm-hmm. It's not scary. There are a couple of false jump scares in the movie and a couple of those creepy faces in the background.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
We do get our gore of being disemboweled sort of thing.
Yeah. A lot of bathing in blood.
Yeah. But it doesn't really linger on it. And when we do see the murder of, say, Francis, he's pelted to death with a pan. This isn't what was our short Fist of Jesus, where we're just watching blood splatter everywhere.
Yeah, no, not that.
He's got a trickle of blood on his head, but the shot is from the person with the pan. You don't ever see his body. So it just has a couple of let's pull some thick rope covered in goo out of a person. And that's kind of it. So I don't know. I think it's pretty approachable. I do think it feels way more super stylized.
Yeah.
It's gritty Argento or kind
more
of
sinister than scary, maybe.
Yeah. So I think it's fairly approachable. 6 out of 10. Let's go with that. Content warnings for, there's these noisy jump scares, a couple of them. We have the sexual assault dream in the church. Yeah. We have the blood and gore I described and, the witch burnings, what have you. So there you go. 6 out of 10 for approachability. But to speak nothing of approachability, how do you rate this as a horror film, Cecil?
I mean, as a horror film out of the Rob Zombie canon, especially, this one kind of holds a special place in my heart. I think it's because it is more restrained than some of his other films, and I think because it does deal more in the folk horror genre rather than the murder cannibal family genre, which is awesome, but like I kind of appreciate the themes of this film a little more. And I gotta say the soundtrack is pretty fucking dope. So for that reason, I would also give it 6 out of 10 half drunk bottles of white wine.
Perfect. Well, let's figure out what movie we are going to watch next. You've got a scare die. I've got a style die. We'll roll those up, see what movie matches those two things. Cecil, if you roll a 1, our next movie scares clowns and or dolls. 2, a vampire. 3, conspiracy. 4, a wild card. 5, 4 plus legs. 6, demonic. What's our scare?
That's a 6.
Demonique.
666.
Yes. We're going to match your demonic with the style that I roll. If I roll a 1, it's got to be a foreign language film. 2, it's got to have 5 or more words in the title. 3, it's got to be from the 2000s. 4, it's got to be a sequel, prequel, or remake. 5, a bottle movie. Or 6, something horror icon related, made by or with a horror icon. Let's see what we got here. I've got a 4, sequel, prequel, remake, demonic.
Oh,
we're going to have plenty of these.
We got a lot of options here.
All right, we wrote down a few, and we also have a Letterboxd account. We're Random Horror 9 on Letterboxd, where you can look at all of our lists, which represent all of the possible die rolls that week, and you can add comments to help us find films that we might have missed. Cecil, on our list, well, we did Tales from the Hood, but we could do Tales from the Crypt, Demon Knight.
Ooh, which is a very fun one.
Anthology film for you. We've got the remake, or prequel remake, The First Omen.
I've not seen this. I've heard good things about it, though.
I have too. We did Paranormal Activity 1. I've been wanting to do Paranormal Activity 3, which I think looks very fun.
Okay.
I love the conceit of these movies.
Yeah. And we did that on like one of our earliest shows, so it might be fun to revisit that franchise.
And I get the sense that Paranormal Activity 3 is about, like, a lot of the scares are generated by what the camera shows you and doesn't show you, which I think is really interesting.
Fun.
Well, we still haven't covered Evil Dead 2 for the show.
A classic. Or Evil Dead Rise. It's a modern kind of for sure
reboot / expansion of the franchise.
What if Evil Dead, but in the city?
Okay, a movie I saw for the first time last year at Nighthawk, Demons 2.
Also, what if Demons, but in an apartment building?
Goddamn, I had that movie, so much fun. And then, of course,
I've only seen this movie once, and I was legit like 17 years old. I remember it takes place in an apartment building, and that's all I remember.
If you were high and 17 and you watched this movie, I'm just the royal you.
Do you understand why I am the way I am now?
Yep. It just explains. It would change your life forever.
Yeah.
And then finally on our list, Smile 2. Very demonic.
Listen, I have to say, I saw Smile and was like, I don't know what all the fuss is about. And then I saw Smile 2 and I was like, this is the shit.
Smile is one of those rare franchises where I think they hit their stride in part 2. And it happens. Yeah. I mean, I think Evil Dead was cult hit, and Evil Dead 2, everybody was watching Evil Dead 2. Yeah, everybody was renting that fucking movie.
In this case, it's like Smile kind of established the rules, and then Smile 2 was like, what if the same rules, but we up the ante?
I also like that in Smile, what they're doing is they're kind of defining what the Smile demon is, because it's different in part 1 and part 2. And like, not different in a way that breaks continuity, but it's different for the people that it's affecting. Mm-hmm. So
because
the Smile,
of how their lives are different.
So anyways, that's very cool. Those are what we wrote down. What did people on Letterboxd have to add to this conversation?
Oh, goodness. We have a lot of +1s for Evil Dead 2. We have a lot of +1s for Smile 2. What else do we have? King and Commodore recommends the 2022 remake of Hellraiser, which, yes, loved it. Absolutely agree. Temmie Silver recommends the 2021 remake of Candyman.
Okay, yeah, also interesting. Demonic?
Yeah, it's a killer ghost demon. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
On the border. vengeful spirit, I would say.
Yes,
and they also recommend Hell House LLC 2, the Abaddon Hotel, in which we get to learn a little more about what happened at that silly old hotel.
I have heard that the Hell House prequel that came out a couple years ago is really good.
Okay, interesting. A +1 for The First Omen. Fifth Hammer recommends Hellraiser 3, Hell on Earth. Interesting. This is the, Hellraiser, but what if a oiled up, coked out musclehead?
Oh, I love it.
Love that. Kamja recommends Handsome Guys from 2024, a faithful Korean remake of Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
Okay.
But on top of the hillbilly killer trope, there's also a demonic scare thrown into the mix. More laughs than scares, the deaths are gory and wonderfully dumb, and it's not often that we see a remake from American into East Asian. That's sounds
really
fascinating
curious
to me. Because it's like the opposite of the A-horror pipeline, which is like,
yes,
hey, look, we made this cool movie in Japan or Korea. Now we're just going to cast a bunch of white people and set it in Seattle. Jazakai recommends Blood Diner from 1987, a spiritual sequel to Blood Feast. Two brothers are entrusted by their uncle to uphold the ritualistic cannibalism of their ancient cult of Sheetar. And in order to do so, they have to prepare a feast of sacrifice for the resurrection of their goddess.
Amazing.
Oh, and Cupadupa recommends the American remake of The Eye. Speaking of, Jessica Alba one from 2008.
Yeah, okay.
Aetherios. God bless you, Aetherios, for bringing this into the mix.
Oh,
The Exorcist 2, The Heretic, 1977. Tasked with investigating the death of Father Marin from the first movie, Father Lamont meets with Reagan and learns through hypnosis that Marin had exorcised the same demon from a young boy in Africa. Lamont then travels to Africa in search of answers. This is another movie that is like so bad. It is singular in its badness that it is actually maybe kind of good.
Okay. Well, we have some good ones, like we often say. This is pretty rich. We have some really, really good ones. We came off a week where we were a little thin for folk horror meets technology, but this week we've got a lot of good ones. I do have bad news.
Oh.
That Handsome Guys is not available for streaming.
At those international movies, it's sometimes real tough to find them in...
Just Watch only comes up with one app that is running it, and I've never heard of that app before. So
you're like, hey, you want a virus on your computer?
But
watch this movie.
But I did look up the Wikipedia page for it and the movie poster, the theatrical release poster. Hilarious. I really want to see this movie. It looks really fun. Okay. What are you feeling, Cecil?
I think we should roll for it. I think we have enough strong contenders, and we have enough people that are like Hellraiser, Demons 2, Smile 2, Evil Dead 2, things like The First Omen that are all strong enough contenders that I think we can find 6 good picks and let the dice decide.
Draft order, Cecil?
Yeah, of course.
You want to pick first? You want me to pick first?
I think you got the first pick.
Okay. Let's start with Evil Dead 2.
I am going to pick Demons 2.
Yes. I'm so excited. I'm so scared. Let us do Paranormal Activity 3.
Excellent. I will choose Smile 2.
Oh, that was so good. I was going to be on my list if you didn't do it. Let's see here. I need a quick thinker. Okay, I'm a little scared to do Exorcist 2, but we've done 1 and 3. And I'm scared about getting a shitty movie, but I'm also like,
it's
I think
a shitty
key movie.
But it's a shitty movie.
Yeah.
But it's a trip.
It's just a question of whether or not that makes for a good show. Because sometimes a shitty movie makes for a great show. But sometimes it makes for a really bad show because you're just like, man, this just wasn't very fun to watch.
I don't know. There's only one way to figure it out.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Okay, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to trust in Etheros from Letterboxd and just like Exorcist 2. Why not?
You're a brave man. Oh, I'm having a hard time. Okay. Okay. I put Smile 2 on there. So that I think that does kind of cancel out the first Omen and kind of the modern horror. And I put Demons 2 on there, which is like kind of campy classic. Oh, I don't know. I'm between like
Hellraiser 3?
Tales from the Crypt, Demon Knight.
Oh, yeah. Okay, great.
That's a sequel, prequel, remake, right? Yeah, it's a sort of a sequel
Tales from
to
the
the
Crypt,
TV show.
It's an extension of that. Yeah. All right. Is it your turn? I always forget whose turn it. I need like one of those. I need a magnet up here that says.
Yeah. Here,
whose turn it is. You'll roll for it. Okay. If you roll a 1, our next movie is Evil Dead 2. If you roll a 2, Demons 2. 3, Paranormal Activity 3. 4, Smile 2. 5, Exorcist 2. 6, Tales from the Crypt, Demon Knight. What are we going to watch next, Cecil?
That's a 1.
Evil Dead Dose.
I mean, let's do it.
We have to.
Dead by Dawn.
Dead by Dawn. And, God, what a fun movie. This will be really exciting.
Oh, yeah. And this will be a fun one for our guest as well.
Yeah, I think so, too. Wow. Okay, great. How exciting. Thank you all for listening. Thank you, Cecil, for talking with me. And if you have thoughts on The Lords of Salem or ideas for other movies that would have been great, demonic, sequel, prequel, or remakes, let us know at Random Horror 9 on Blue Sky, Instagram, or on Patreon, where those public discussion threads are public. You don't have to be a paying member. So watch Sam Raimi's Evil Dead 2 with us this week and come on back next Tuesday for a new episode. Have a restful night with no landlords requiring you to birth a lobster baby or nothing. Boo.
Boo!
Hey, it's Jeffrey jumping in one more time to remind you to watch Mother of Flies from 2025 and join us this Saturday, March 14th, 2026 at 3 p.m. Eastern for our monthly live stream over at patreon.com/randomhorror9. Our live streams are only $5 and Patreons get to help us pick the film. Of course, they also get to be part of every live stream and they get access to our back catalog of more than 60 previous live streams. Some of my favorites have been Candyman, The Happiness of the Katakuris, and The Taking of Deborah Logan. We've watched some incredible ones. So join us this Saturday, March 14th at 3 p.m. New York time over at patreon.com/randomhorror9 to talk about Mother of Flies from 2025. Okay, now here are your credits and scary story. Boo. Random Number Generator Horror Podcast number 9 is hosted by me, Jeffrey Craner, and Cecil Baldwin. Find more of our work on the podcast Welcome to Night Vale. This show is produced by Night Vale Presents. It is edited by me with music by Cecil and logo by David Baldwin. See original artwork for each episode by David on Instagram. Join us for live streams on Patreon. Watch our recording sessions on YouTube. Chat with us on Blue Sky and contribute to our movie selection process on Letterboxd. We're in all of those places at Random Horror 9. Today's scary story. The witches have cursed your bloodline, and that's fine, because your cats are adopted.